Entonces queríamos tratar.
Hey, Miami Lakers, and welcome to Mental Health Thursday. I know we used to do Facebook Live every single day during the COVID-19 pandemic, but we're doing a little bit different. Things are getting better, so I think that information, that daily information, we've kind of shifted it. But more importantly, we're going to continue breaking through that stigma, something that's very important to Councilman Cuellar, who's here with us, and Rosie Barroso, who's also here today. And they have some special guests that they'll be introducing now in a little bit. Some good news, right? Miami Heat are about to win. They're 3-1. They're about to get into the finals, hopefully against LeBron James. It'll be definitely interesting. But some really, really good news for our community. COVID's getting really under good numbers. Hospitals are back to normal. Things are really normalized, but we do know that the precautions still have to be made. Here in the town of Miami Lakes, we even had one of our officers who's still recovering. Because that's how serious COVID is to a lot of people, right? The vast majority of our society, COVID might not impact as much, but there are people who will get impacted by COVID and end up in ICU. Fortunately, the therapies are getting a lot better. The pharmaceutical companies are stepping up. I know the hope is to get a vaccine, to get a cure soon, but the reality is that's a little ways off. I'm hopeful sooner rather than later, but we do know at the very least that those things are normalizing. Also, last Friday, the movie theater reopened on Main Street, right? Great news to see that reopening. We all want to see Main Street thrive, survive, but also know that it's different. You know, you can't just walk in there and buy popcorn and buy candy, soda, or nachos. You can't do that. Concessions are still closed, but at the very least, the movie theaters are open. Things are looking better. Things are looking up. We're optimistic. We're hopeful. But I also want to introduce our town manager, who's going to be talking about what's happening here every day. When are you going to reopen basketball courts? What's happening with youth programs? I get calls all the time. You know, what's going on with parks? So I know there's a lot of those questions we're going to get answered today. Once the manager's done, I'm going to hand it over to Councilman Cuellar so we can continue breaking that stigma, to have that discussion in our community on mental health, really to get motivated. And I know that's why we have a great guest speaker today, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to start off by saying the state report that came out this morning, earlier today, showed that in total, not currently, not at this one time, but total, since the beginning of COVID, in Miami Lakes, we've had 2,745 Miami Lakes residents test positive for COVID. As we stated before, the majority of those people have already gone through it, they've recovered, they're well, they're not infectious, but in total, we've had just over 2,700 Miami Lakers that have tested positive. What we have seen, which is great news, that the increase, the rate of increase, we've already seen, we're at least 2 to 3 weeks past the peak of the virus here in the town. We have steadily seen a decline in new cases, in the percentage of new cases, so that is great news, and obviously that is what has led, and it's the same trend that we're seeing throughout all of Dade County, but it's what has led now to the reopening of theaters, the ability to eat indoors in restaurants, and some of the other changes that we've seen. And as the mayor said, in the parks now, they are allowing organized play for certain sports like baseball and softball. So now those are all steps in the right direction, and I think that we can see light at the end. But we cannot let our guard down. We definitely have to continue with the facial coverings, hand washing, and the social distancing. Those are very important to make sure that we do not have a recurrence or another surge in this virus in our community. So everybody's in Miami Lakes, it's incredible. Everybody's done such a good job. We've really come together as a community, and everybody's doing this, that we mitigate this virus as much as possible.
Bueno, el jueves de la salud mental aquí en nuestra comunidad hemos hablado un poquito del coronavirus. Obviamente pasado, o sea, reabrieron los teatros aquí en la ciudad de la iglesia, ha habido un cambio, pero la cosa es que sabemos que estamos yendo en un rumbo muy bueno sobre el coronavirus, pero la realidad es que tienen que seguir con la marca, como salen al público. Pero hoy vamos a tener una discusión de la salud mental y al caso de la señora Rosa han trabajado muy duro, porque a veces muchas personas no llegan a la hablamos de la salud, de hacer pesa, de correr, de montar bicicleta, pero la realidad es que tienen también trabajar sobre la salud mental, que es tan importante. En este momento voy a traer el colega mío, José Luis Collazo, que va a estar hablando con ustedes hoy. Now I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Luis Collazo, who is leading the effort on Mental Health Thursday.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Miami Lakers. This opportunity to bring you many different resources to address mental health has been refreshing. Dozens of individuals, if not hundreds of individuals, have been reaching out, and we've been able to reach those individuals who most needed help during this crisis. COVID has given us a great opportunity not just to reconnect with loved ones, but also to look at ourselves and see maybe some areas where we're strong in and some areas where we're not so strong. It's been a pleasure to bring these resources to you, and I want to invite my colleague Rosie Barroso, who's been our partner here in our community, really reaching out to therapists and really making sure that all Miami Lakers had resources, demographic resources or need. We made sure that we had a variety of different partnerships to bring to you as resources in our community. Today we have a very special guest. We have Leighton and Stacy from Action to Growth Space, and they're going to talk about mindset, positivity, and again, just another resource that we have in our community to help you, and it's been an honor to work with you here on Mental Health Thursday. So Leighton, Stacy, you want to come on up?
Hello everyone, my name is Leighton, and this is Stacy, the VP of Action to Growth Space. And so just wanted to talk to you today about the state that we're in right now, especially, right? A lot of people are home, and when you're home and isolated like that, it's very important that you pay attention to your feelings, right? So me personally, on my journey, I used to struggle a lot with communication. I used to struggle a lot with, and it was all about my mindset, right? I changed my mindset. I started to read books. I started to change my habits on a daily basis. So I would, maybe walk in nature. I would actually go exercise in the morning. Just some tweaks that help in order to change my brain capacity so I could be fully prepared for the day. So I founded Action to Build Space because I felt that I needed help at a certain time and I was really struggling. And so if I could help people to condense that time as far as getting to the next place that they want to get to in life, that's why I wanted to start this company. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about complexity, resilience, and also emotional stability. And I'm going to have Katie also touch on that as well.
And after we decided to open up this community of ATG space, we decided that it is extremely important to connect with others with regard to communication, especially during this time of isolation amongst the pandemic. It is extremely important for us while we're home to develop healthy habits, not only for ourselves as adults and as caretakers, but also for the children that are watching us. Just to touch a little bit upon, really important to provide children with structure on a day-to-day basis, especially now that we are at home and children are trying to acclimate to virtual learning and reintroducing themselves or reintegrating themselves back into the community during the pandemic wearing these facial coverings. As you can see, we don't have any facial expressions, so I'm using my hands a lot. Think about little kids who aren't able to see a smile anymore or see any gestures outside of our families. It's resilience, communication, mental agility as things that are extremely important for children and adults during this time of isolation. So that is really where our focus would like to gear towards.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions for us, you can get atgspace.com, and you can also connect with us on Instagram at atgspace. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Leighton and Stacy. And very important, right, as we continue to transition, as the manager and the mayor said, we do have a lot of positive news to share, right? But again, we need to continue to be on the path of making sure that we're protected. And part of that is wearing the facial coverings. But that also comes as a stressor and as something that inhibits our interconnectivity amongst each other. So be mindful of that, and it's a great tip, and it's something that I think sometimes we need to be reminded. Ms. Rosie Barroso and I will be partnering on an additional initiative that the council moved forward several months ago, and it's really creating a mental health task force within the town. And we're going to be partnering with a bunch of different committees to see how we can integrate more of these mental health tips and planning and throughout our committee system and our event system. So be on the lookout for that. We may not necessarily be moving forward with the COVID updates on a regular basis, but we'll continue to bring you different types of providers and present mental health information, and we'll continue to be here for you 9 million if you need it. So please feel free to come back out and reach out to us. Rosie, you want to say anything?
I just want to say thank you so much for letting us serve you, and we're still here, and I'm sure many of the other professionals that have stepped up to speak are still here. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask the manager and the mayor to come on back up. Any closing remarks, mayor, manager? So anybody, I know we do this on, sometimes we take questions. If anybody has any questions for Leighton or Stacy, please comment on the chat, on the Facebook Live feed, or however you're getting this feed right now. I see no questions coming in.
So I know how we're going to continue progressing towards finalizing COVID. We know it's still going to be a bit of a road. We are going to less of COVID updates because I think a lot of the information is out there. I think a lot of folks are back to work and we're seeing less and less viewers, but we're going to continue doing the mental health discussion, something that Councilman Collazo and Rosie have led. So we want to make sure that continues going not only with their initiatives, but as also on a weekly basis having these discussions. So it's really appreciated that they're both taking this on. And again, continue your mask. We can't stress that because we know it's working. I think that's one of the reasons why we continue reopening our society little by little. Hopefully we get back, back to normal as soon as possible. We get more folks back to work. One of the other things, Mr. Manager, I keep getting asked all the time, when are the playgrounds going to reopen? I know we have over 100 parks here in the community. Talk to the folks at home, because I get those calls all the time.
Yeah, right now, the actual pocket parks, the green space in our parks are all open. The green space in all of our parks is open. What is not open are just the play sets. Those are still closed under county order. So the moment that they're doing the county and the state and here in the town of Miami Lakes, everything is progressing methodically. The moment that there is the next phase and the numbers continue, the trend that we see, which is thankful that they continue to drop and keep going down. Once we get to that point, then those play sets will be reopened.
Bueno, muchas gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Yo sé que no hay ninguna pregunta, pero cualquier cosa lo podemos contactar aquí en la ciudad del 305-364-6100. Aquí estamos para servirle. Yo sé que el señor Gonzalo y Collazo y la señora Rocío Barroso van a seguir teniendo estas conversaciones cada semana, pero también están haciendo una iniciativa muy tan importante que van a hacer mucho más en la comunidad, en los elementos diferentes de nuestra comunidad. So thank you, Miami Lakers, for tuning in, and we don't see any other questions. Stay safe. Call us if you need anything. We're here for you from the entire town council, our staff, all volunteers, our community is united to make sure that we get past this as soon as possible.